So I came back over here to the maple grove where I was yesterday. And the conditions today are clear skies, which is good for reflected light. We'll see what happens if there's any wind this afternoon, but I figure I'm gonna keep scouting that grove, see if I can find anything else. Kind of what I'm looking for is a photo that in some way kind of tells a story. And there's all kinds of really beautiful trees showing some really nice fall color all around me, but sometimes I think it feels a little empty if it doesn't seem like there's some sort of story to be told by that photo. But I'm gonna do what I normally do. It's gonna kind of wander around, see if I can find something that catches my eye. I do have my arca-swiss camera on my back right now, and some Velvia, some Ektar. Let's see what I can find. So I went ahead and dropped my heavy pack and then spent some time just kind of scrambling around to see what I could find. And this is a slope where I think the last time I photographed this area was back in 2010. That was the last year that there was really good maples here when I was here. And so I found an area that I haven't shot before, but it's a pretty cool looking area. And I went ahead and set up a composition of these trees you see back behind me here. And it's kind of cool because you get this sort of tunnel effect because there's deer that graze the leaves on these trees, and they can reach up maybe like 5 feet or so. And as a result, the canopy kind of follows this slope down. So the background is just kind of more and more leaves and branches, and you get some color. There's some greens, there's some yellows, there's some reds. And the composition is really just a matter of framing chaos. There really isn't anything more to it than that. I just found kind of where the good, left edge for the photo is, good right edge for the photo. Just kind of worked on having some decent foreground in there. And I just focused about a third of the way into the scene and then went ahead and stopped down to f/45 to get about as much as I can. I'm not going to get the immediate foreground completely sharp. I'm not going to get the extreme background super sharp. I'm going to get most of it, which is pretty nice. My light source, there is some reflected light coming from that cliff face over there, as well as from that cliff face over there. So I have sort of a dual competing reflected light. I used my normal lens here and just kind of framed up something, and I went ahead and exposed a sheet of Velvia as well as a sheet of Ektar. And I don't have a ton of film with me today, and that's one of the disadvantages of the shuttle system because I can only carry so much film with me right now. And if I use up all the film I have, I'm gonna have to go all the way back to camp, load up some more film, come back here again. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stash my pack, get everything all folded up and stuff. Spend some more time kind of scouting around because I think this area would also be really good for the afternoon and some nice glows. Though the wind also picks up a little bit in the afternoon as well. But feeling pretty good about finding a subject in the morning, and we'll see what I can find in the afternoon. So I spent some time just kind of scouting around and just kind of scrambling around. And I found myself back at the exact same grove that I started at. And I'm shooting it from a different angle this time. I'm kind of shooting it from the side, whereas last time I would have been kind of down in that area underneath those trees when I was shooting it. And I'm just kind of framing the chaos. And this kind of seems to be the theme so far on this trip. But there's kind of a yellow looking tree kind of off to the left side, which is a little bit younger and kind of has a little more contrast compared to all the ones in the background. And the ones in the background have some more of the sort of the red leaves and a little bit of green. So it's kind of a cool looking scene. Now, one thing I did do is I do not have the camera perfectly leveled. I decided to level the camera according to the angle of the trees because they're all growing at a little bit of the same angle, but not level. And by doing that, hopefully we'll get more of sort of a calm feeling by looking at that photo. But pretty excited to find this. I did expose my last 2 sheets of Velvia on this, which means I have no more Velvia on me. So I'm gonna have to head back to camp to load some more film. I'm thinking about maybe heading over to the east side of the park and kind of wander through the washes there. I know most of the color is already gone there, but there's still some pockets of color, so I'll be curious to see what I find over there. came over here to the east side. I'm just kind of wandering around. I decided to check out one of the washes where there's a photo that I shot last year. And today is October 27th, and I think I shot this scene last year somewhere around maybe November 6th, November 7th, somewhere in that range. And it is just completely dried out right now. I mean, there's still some sort of pastel colors, but it was so much more vibrant when I shot it. There are these little kind of yellow leaves over there right now, and they were green when I shot it last year. And I also noticed that there was a sort of a tree in the background that kind of fell into the scene and it's sort of eroded a little bit. So I always find it's kind of interesting to revisit areas I've shot in the past just to kind of see how things have changed. But this right here is definitely really good to show as far as how early the fall color is this year. But I'm gonna keep scouting around and see if I can find anything else. So as I'm taking some time to wander here along the quiet east side of the park, I was checking out some familiar areas and getting a feeling for, if there are any pockets of color left for me to look at or other things along those lines too. But I was thinking a little bit about yesterday. So yesterday I felt really rushed when I got here. I mean, I literally was rushed. I didn't even set up my tent. I just got to the campground. I had my backpack configured a little differently than I wanted, so I had to go through and pull everything out, put everything back in, make sure I had everything, and hit the shuttle bus. And as soon as I made it to that one particular tree, and then the wind started blowing and leaves started flying, and I really like to have the time to kind of wander around and to really sort of absorb my surroundings, and I did not have that yesterday, but today I did. So I'm really glad I had the opportunity this morning to take pictures of those two maple groves, and hopefully this turned out pretty nice. But that's a little more the way that I like to work, just to take time, wander around, find something to be inspired by, and find a composition. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the trip, but I think I'm gonna definitely need to concentrate on the main canyon there. I just love wandering here on the east side. So calm, so quiet. My primary goal when finding a subject and a composition is to create a photo that in some way tells a story. This helps to give the subject a voice and perhaps gives a photo a greater meaning. The first photo I captured turned out fine from a technical standpoint. The exposure is perfect, and Ektar did a great job with a soft yet contrasty light. I like the hint of reflected light on the tree trunks, but I don't know what to think about the photo as a whole. In some ways, the imperfection of the broken branch in the center helps tell a story, but I don't know if it's enough to give the image any merit. This is probably one of those photos that'll take some time for me to decide whether I like it or not. In any case, I'd love to hear your thoughts. That's one of the unique things about sharing every photo I shoot, even the ones I don't think were successful. The second photo shows a wonderful range of fall color, and the reflected light from the sky allows the tree trunks to go a bit cool for a sense of contrast. The diagonal emphasis of the foreground helps to ground the shot, but I wish there was a bit more of a dominant subject. To me, this is a photo of ideal color and decent light, but perhaps lacking in story. Even though the photos I shot on day 2 are not standout portfolio grade shots, they're part of the process of exploring a location, and that exploration led me to the subject I photographed on day 3, one of my favorite photos from my fall of 2017 trip to Zion National Park. If you enjoy this ad-free content and want to help me live my dream, a voluntary contribution of just $24 a year helps keep my gas tank full and my film freezer stocked. For more information on how to support me and my work, please visit the donation section of my website at benhorne.com/donate. I also have prints and my 2017 portfolio box set available on my website. You can find a direct link down below in the show notes. Thanks in advance for your support.